We've partially waded out into the creek, but not too far out. You can see that water levels are very high tonight. In fact, if you look at the measurement gauge across the bridge here, across the creek, water levels are about 4 feet above normal. The Boulder Office of Emergency Management tells us they are monitoring this situation closely, but as of this hour, no new warnings or notifications. Yeah, the good news, Ann, is that everyone made it out alive. You can see there's still a lot of activity here on Erie Street in unincorporated Adams County. There's still some fire trucks here as well as firefighters. North Washington Fire says the home is a total loss. The feds say these guys were funneling illegal drug money up from Colombia to purchase pot dispensaries here in Colorado, as well as grow operations. 2 of the 4 men appeared here in federal court today. This is the parking lot, and these are the cars that, for all intents and purposes, were drivable as of yesterday. They were parked in this parking lot, and now this massive tornado has simply turned them into rumpled piles of metal. The Jefferson County DA tells 7 News Sig will be isolated from the rest of the prison population for his own protection, and then eventually, most likely, he will be moved out of state, according to the DA, again for his own protection from other inmates who target child sex offenders. Here we go again on I-70. We have snow and blowing snow, and it's just a nightmare situation on I-70. What you're looking at here are the westbound lanes of I-70 heading toward the tunnel from Denver. We're about
going on heading towards right now.
Once we're filled up, the back pumps are full. We'll go ahead and move on.
The heat is relentless out here.
Let's go ahead and line up for a grid, guys.
Yet CAL FIRE and this crew of inmates showing no signs of fatigue. And homeowner Steve Anderson couldn't be more grateful.
These guys are incredible, boy. They cut all this up.
He knows he shouldn't be here.
Gave it about a 0.5 percentage point that the house would be here.
It's still an active evacuation zone.
It started breaking down, and it was down here in 20 minutes. It just barreled down this valley. Little tornado fires going up in the air.
CAL FIRE says the roots of the trees are still on fire, making them a danger for falling or flare-ups.
This one right here. See how it broke right in the middle?
Anderson says he's only human. He left his wife in town and hiked in to check things out.
I lived here about 15 years. I've never seen anything like it. Unbelievable how much well they did. Saved my house.
If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. I mean,
You guys done it? You guys done it already. Impressive.
Do you want me to get you a bowl?
For Pamela Teal and Lauren Fortmiller, the golden years have been just that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The best 12 years of my life I have spent with Lauren.
And they are thrilled with the Supreme Court decisions today.
I'm 65, and for the first time, I feel equal.
But despite the court striking down the Defense of Marriage Act, paving the way for federal benefits for same-sex couples, those protections still don't apply here in Colorado.
If a state has same-sex marriage, then you are entitled to all the federal benefits that the DOMA Act prohibited you from.
Constitutional law professor Norman Provisor says while the court's decision means protections for those living in the 13 states that allow gay marriage, they do not apply state to state.
There's no general decision that applies to other states all around the country.
Lauren and Pamela still view the decisions today as validation, legitimizing a relationship some still question.
First thing I would answer to that, Russell, is that our life is not a style. Our life is our life. People are going to have a really tough time taking this victory away from us. Even though it doesn't really change our personal rights in any way, it means that we're over the hump.
At heart, they're all just little girls. But you could call this group wise beyond its years.
I'm here to get a blood drawn to see if I could start my treatment today.
This is Delaney Clement's fourth battle with neuroblastoma. Delaney's mom is rightfully in awe of her daughter's courage.
Delaney kind of looked at me. She's like, why are you so worried? She's like, this is me. I got this.
And when Cameron Renfro shaved her head to show support for her best friend,
She shaved her head for me to support me and be there for me.
Cameron says she was just listening to her heart.
It just told me that it was the right thing to do for her. I was really happy that there was somebody there for me so I wasn't alone, because people would laugh at me and stare at me sometimes.
The school district didn't share their compassion and suspended Cameron for violating district policy.
I think it's ridiculous. I just think it's really dumb.
Public outcry forced the district to quickly reverse its position that shaved heads are a distraction.
I don't necessarily believe it is a distraction unless you make it a distraction.
A third friend, Briley, has now shaved her head too.
That makes me feel even better. So I have double the support.
A powerful lesson taught by children.
Bald is beautiful and your hair doesn't tell your personality.
Just beyond this washout on Highway 39 is the small town of Goodrich.
It's underwater.
Lindsay Degenhar owns AJ's, the only bar and grill here.
We didn't think it was going to be this bad.
We got as much out of there as we could. And about 10 o'clock is when the water came in and they told us we should probably go.
Down the road in Fort Morgan, this incredible time lapse shows floodwaters overtaking the Highway 52 bridge and the historic Rainbow Bridge.
We have just ordered evacuations of some areas in the northeast corner of the city, a campground, a couple of motels, a restaurant.
We knew it was going to be big.
As for farmers like Dan Babcock, most of the crops are okay, but the costs to infrastructure mounting.
We're losing the irrigation canals that we've had set up for decades and decades and almost centuries in some cases.